The reason you're struggling to get customers is because you don't have a good lead generator. And today, I'm going to teach you how to make one. Today, I'm going to talk about why it's so important to create lead generators, and I'm going to give you a really great formula for writing a lead generator PDF. However, if you just want to skip all that and you want StoryBrand.ai to use that same magic formula, all you have to do is answer a few questions and I'll write the lead generator for you at StoryBrand.ai. All right, here's the deal. Lead generators are crucial. The main reason is they attract and they even identify potential customers, which is the very first step in any sales process. If you are struggling to find qualified leads, a lead generator is going to be very, very helpful. The key is to keep making new lead generators until you are getting the number of leads that you need to reach your business goals. So if you need 100 leads a day, put out 2, 3, 4 lead generators that attract about 100 clients, and you can start from there. When somebody reads a lead generator that you have created, preferably one that helps them solve a problem in your area of expertise, you position yourself as the guide in their life, thus moving them closer and closer to the sale, right? So if you remember the StoryBrand framework, you want to position your customer as the hero and yourself as the guide. When you do this, you earn trust with your customer and they start looking to you for more and more help. All right, let's outline a lead generator that's going to be effective for you. And what I mean by effective is it's going to get leads to come in and then begin to earn their trust, positioning you as the guide. We're going to do this in 6 steps. It's a 6-step formula to create a really great lead generator. The first step is to identify a problem your customer is experiencing. So this problem needs to be kind of in the arena of your expertise. So think about what you're an expert at, what sort of products you sell, and somewhere in that arena, we're going to start owning that mental real estate. The most basic kind of lead generator and the easiest to create would be a simple, informative PDF. While lead generators can vary from webinars to on-demand courses, free audiobooks, hundreds of other ideas, the lead generating PDF is a foundational addition to your lead acquisition strategy. It's also a great place to start because if you create a lead generating PDF, it's extremely inexpensive. You hardly have to design it. You build a quick landing page, capture some email addresses. If it works really well, you scale it up to a webinar, a live stream. You might create a free audio book or a free Kindle book, and you begin getting leads because that topic was really popular. So creating lead generating PDFs is a great way just to test topics, to test problems that you solve. For example, let's say you're a pediatric dentist. A good problem to solve might be, how can you help your child get through their first visit to the dentist? So we know if I'm a dentist, if I'm a pediatric dentist, I want more kids to come into my shop, and I know every parent is sort of afraid, and if one dentist down the street doesn't offer any sort of help getting their kids prepared to come to the dentist, and I do, I've expressed empathy, I've expressed authority and competency. I've probably won that parent over if they spent 10 minutes reading my PDF. They really like me because I helped them solve a problem. So that's the kind of thinking you want to do when you create these lead generators. All right, the second step is to give the lead generator a title. Now, I went to StoryBrand.ai, and it's going to help you come up with some really great titles, and you can revise those titles and regenerate them as many times as you want until you get the one that you really like. I happened to run the idea through StoryBrand.ai of a pediatric dentist. One of the titles that it gave me, No More Dental Fears, Preparing for Your Child's First Trip to the Dentist. It's pretty darn good. So the third step, we've got the problem that we're solving. We've created a title for the lead generator. Now we got to write it. The third step then will be to express empathy. Inside of the PDF, you're going to express empathy for the client's problem. This is a really important step because when somebody has a problem, they look for a guide who has empathy for that specific challenge that they find themselves in. So it's a really good thing then for us to specifically state how and perhaps why we care about this problem. If you've ever struggled with the same problem your customer is experiencing, then here's the place to tell that story and talk about it in this part of the lead generator. StoryBrand.ai is going to ask you some questions that tease out why and how you actually care about this customer's specific problem. At this point in the lead generator, the reader knows what problem you want to help them solve, and you've paused to let them know you are really sorry they are having to struggle with this problem, and so you've made a bit of a connection. You've identified the problem, and you said, I remember even as a dentist when my kid had to go to the dentist, and you kind of tell that story. StoryBrand.ai is going to tease that story out of you. Next, then, you will want to come back to the problem and agitate it a little bit. Now, this sounds bad, but I don't mean it like you want to bother the reader. The fact that it's serious needs to be true because people really aren't motivated to solve a problem that isn't serious. In fact, the worse the problem is, the more motivated they are to actually solve the problem. So, given our example of a pediatric dentist, we want to briefly explain that if we prepare our kids to go to the dentist, we alleviate a lifetime of fear of dentists. We will all have to go to the dentist from time to time, so it's important to alleviate that fear on the very first visit. You want to talk about this inside of the lead generator so that they will listen to your advice. What you will find is that when you agitate the problem, the reader starts taking the text you've written more seriously. So I encourage you not to exaggerate here or to be too dramatic. But even if you're talking about something light and fun, like, a comedy club or something, you can always agitate the problem by talking about how important it is to laugh and spend time with friends and how people who take the time to laugh enjoy their lives a lot more and, stuff like that. I only say that because every business really exists to solve a problem, and people should take the problem you solve very seriously. If you don't talk about the problem and agitate the problem and treat the problem seriously, your customers won't take you seriously. So let's make sure that's inside of the text of the lead generator. The next thing you want to do in your lead generator is offer a solution to the problem that your customers are experiencing. So this is the meat of the lead generator. This is where you offer advice. and StoryBrand.ai is instructed to help you figure out a step-by-step process that you can guide your reader through. For example, when I ran the lead generating idea for a pediatric dentist through StoryBrand.ai, it gave me a really great 3-step plan that I could use in the body of the text of the lead generator. I'll share it with you. First, it said, communicate openly with your kid. Use simple, encouraging language to talk about what it means to go to the dentist. Avoid language like drills or pain or any of that other stuff. Second, visit the dentist beforehand. So do a pre-visit to the dentist's office and have the child bring their favorite toy. Get to know the receptionist and walk around in the reception room or whatever and play with the toy a little bit and then leave and go home. Terrific idea, really. Third, practice at home. So play role-playing games where you and your child pretend to be the dentist and then switch so your child gets to play the patient. So they're kind of used to the idea. By the way, StoryBrand.ai gave me these ideas. I didn't type them in. That's really wise and good advice that as a dentist, I may say, I agree with this, so I'm going to allow it to be in my lead generator. The next section of your lead generator is going to be the stakes section. In this section, you simply want to talk about what the positive or negative stakes are, depending on whether or not your customer follows your advice. For example, for our dentist, we'd want to remind the parent that while visiting a dentist is perfectly safe, it can be really scary for the child. But if the parent prepares their child, it can be a positive experience, not only the first time, but every time after that. So the stakes section basically reminds the reader why solving this problem is so important. And finally, you will want to give the reader a next step, some action they can take towards solving their problem. It's important that you do this because when a customer takes your advice and you help them solve a problem, you really solidify yourself in the customer's life as a helpful guide. And if you can do that, they will trust you and think fondly of you for many, many more years to come. But they need to put skin in the game. They need to do something. So for our dentist, this could be as simple as writing that 3-step plan down on a piece of paper and checking off each step when they are accomplished. So at the end of the PDF, you want to say, hey, what should you do about this? Take those 3 steps, write them down, put them on the fridge, and when you do them, check them off. And if you've done that, you'll know that your child is prepared to go to the dentist. It's just that simple. So don't overthink this part of the lead generator. And feel free, by the way, to get creative or trust StoryBrand.ai to give you some creative ideas about how you can call your customer to action. Using StoryBrand.ai to create a lead generator is super, super simple. Lead generators are kind of mind-boggling tough, or at least they used to be. Just staring at a blank piece of paper and trying to write something feels like you have an audience, you feel insecure. The truth is, you have a lot of wisdom as an expert in your area. You just need AI to kind of put together a rough draft for you. And the way that we put that rough draft for you is just by answering a few questions. Again, a good lead generator will position you as the guide in your customer's life and will position them as the hero. But it will also get you the contact information for all those qualified heroes who may eventually want to buy your products. After you receive those emails, then you can use the nurture email sequence tool in the platform to create nurture emails that you can drip out and really gain familiarity and trust with a very wide audience. The most important thing to remember is that your customers need to hear from you. If they don't, they will forget that you exist. But if you help them solve a little problem here and there, they will trust you when it's time to spend their hard-earned money on a solution, and hopefully that solution will come in the form of one of your products. If you have ever struggled to create a lead generator, to write one of those lead generators, if you don't have a lead generator, or if you've just got one or two and they're not working very well, you need to try more, and you can do that with StoryBrand.ai. If you've ever struggled to build a list of leads who want what you are offering, a subscription to StoryBrand.ai is the right decision. So go to StoryBrand.ai and subscribe today.